get an expert view on where the markets are headed from here. Pathik Ganotra, partner at Drone Capital Advisors LLP, joins us in our studio. Pathik, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio on a day when the markets are so cheerful, fresh all-time highs practically by the minute, by the second.
Yes.
What should be a trader's view over here? I'll come to the investors in a bit, but should a trader now think of caution at all?
No, not that I trade a lot, but what I'm saying is from a trader's perspective, the market has consolidated quite a bit over the past 3 to 4 months. Since if you look at most of the index stocks, they have still not crossed the highs of 16th of May. So like ICICI Bank, all the private banks space, all of the stocks there. So I mean, there's still and there's been a big consolidation in that space. I think there's still a lot of steam left even from here.
So you still trade long with stop losses?
110%.
Okay. Hi Pathik, morning. The big space to watch today is oil marketing companies, and with the fact that there will be no losses on diesel going ahead, would you still buy a stock like BPCL at 670?
With PSUs generally I'm very circumspect, even whether it's oil marketing companies or state-owned banks or state-owned anything, because these policies they change with the times. I mean, currently the fact that oil has come down and the government needs money to do some other program. That's why the diesel subsidy has come down to zero. I don't imagine these companies will function like private companies going forward. I mean, I'll find it difficult to imagine that because there's just no history. It's been 10-15 years since we've never seen that history. So it's difficult to imagine. It can be a big change. If that happens, that can be very big. But would I bet on the fact that it will happen? No, I certainly won't.
Okay. What then is your expected returns from the Sensex or the Nifty over the next 12 months? Are you seeing at 8.5, at 9?
So if I give it to you in percentage terms, the index is currently quoting at 15 times 15, 15 to 16 times 15, and about 12 to 13 times 16. I mean, assuming 15 to 20% growth in earnings. So I think earnings will grow at 20% compounded next 3 years. There might be some let's say some delay in that. We might have 15, 18, and 25 with that kind of earnings trajectory. But given that, I would expect the index to compound at 20% from here over the next 3 years. And if that means next year, yes, I think you can get between 15 to 20% return on the index 12 months from now.
Why are you so confident of earnings? I mean, I'm only asking you this because there is a lot of hope that this government will get things right. But at the moment, the Q2 earnings are still, showing you a fairly despondent performance in many pockets. As well, the IIP numbers or whatever macros you got, we're not showing much growth. So, what gives you this confidence in earnings growth?
So look at the earnings for this quarter. They've been the best from the last 8-10 quarters, right? The profit growth for this quarter, the quarter gone by. And that's been with whatever IIP growth that you saw. So I'm saying IIP growth will eventually drive top line. I mean, I saw the IIP numbers. They were down by about a percentage point from the growth rate that you were expecting. I think that's fine. And an economy is turning. It will go through ripples before it turns. It will not turn in a linear fashion. You might actually have a very bad IIP number also coming in the next few months. But that will not change the direction. Directionally, I think the economy has turned. Now the issue is at what pace will it go? Market was expecting the pace to be very, very rocking. It's just a bit slower than that. The market, I think, has expected too much of reform momentum to happen. Reforms are happening. The government is actually doing a lot of stuff. The basic stuff is getting done. Because, the market is expecting today of big bang reforms. When the UPS talk of big bang reforms and no deliverance on the ground, market would say, where's the deliverance on the ground? So I think this is a better way of doing things. So my view is the economy will turn. Today, the growth is coming from expanding margins because of cutting costs. People have held back on costs. When top line starts growing, so you can say when will top line start growing? That will start growing once the IIP turns. And I think by the 3rd to 4th quarter of this year, you will see serious top line growth. That won't stop in 1 quarter. That will go on for, I think, a couple of years.
Okay, so you were saying 20% earnings growth. Where do you expect earnings upgrades to come in terms of specific sectors and stocks?
Across the board. I mean, maybe not in IT, but everywhere else, in all cyclicals.
So what would be your leaders for this 20% rally that you are expecting in the Sensex and the Nifty?
Clearly private banks and finance companies. I'm talking about the general market now, not just about the index. Private banks, finance companies is one space that I think will do very well. I mean, look at it. We look at price to book. If you look at price to earnings, these private banks, excluding HDFC Bank, trade at 10 times next year. Some trade at 10 times this year, and with a rare 25 to 30% earnings growth. I mean, these stocks are very cheap. They are very cheap by any definition. If you're sitting at the cusp of an economic expansion, so that's one sector. Second is other cyclicals, say Larsen, all those kind of companies. Oil marketing companies will also show growth in the near term. So obviously, once the diesel subsidy goes away, I have a philosophical view that governments, it depends upon the oil price. If the oil price spikes up, the government will not pass it on completely. That's what I think.
Okay.
But that's where earnings growth will come from.
Why this?
Reliance can grow its earnings.
Why are you so positive on Larsen? The last number was not terribly encouraging. And, you know, we still have a while to go before CapEx comes in, isn't it?
Correct. Now, if you read the headlines today, I mean, last few days, that there have been 40 environment clearances given in the past 6 months since the government has come. All that will translate into growth, right? Larsen order book will grow. Larsen is also, it's like your IIP number. I mean, it's not like, it'll not be a linear thing. Eventually it will be linear, but they're still going to be wobbling around a number before it turns secularly.
Okay. What about the metal space? I mean, this morning, Sesa Sterlite is up after that mining leases renewal, but overall, how are you positioned? Any stocks that you like there?
Metal stocks, I think, are more global cyclicals. I think there's going to be a world of soft commodity prices. So I think I would rather buy the metal purchasers rather than the metal producers.
Okay. So autos.
Autos, I think, is clearly there. So I was coming to that. Autos, I think, is clearly a sector where you will see significant growth. So take a company like Tata Motors, Maruti, all this will do very well.
What about the two-wheelers? You're not
even the two-wheelers. Even the two-wheelers. I mean, Bajaj Auto has an issue of market share. So, but that's fine. I mean, eventually domestic growth will catch up. I mean, Bajaj Auto might underperform on domestic growth for some more quarters before it gets its act together. But eventually, I think the two-wheeler space should do well.
So you will be a buyer in Maruti, Tata Motors, and M&M.
We're just talking about earnings growth right now, not buying or selling.
Okay, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Would you buy these stocks? Tata Motors, M&M, Maruti, and the four-wheelers, and the two-wheelers, Bajaj, Hero, TVS.
See, we are bottom up. We normally. I mean, I'm saying okay. Currently, the best position stock is Tata Motors. If you ask me, we don't believe in. We are not a mutual fund. I don't believe in spreading out a portfolio. The best stock today to buy in the auto space is Tata Motors. Period.
Okay. You seem to be positive on a lot of sectors. What are the sectors that you would avoid at this point?
Like I said, I would still avoid
PSUs. Okay.
And that's a big no, right? Yeah. Because
so that includes names like ONGC and all you.
So I never said I'll buy ONGC. I said that's where the earnings growth can come. Not necessarily you need to buy it. We were discussing earnings growth. So I said earnings growth can come from ONGC, can come from HPCL, BPCL. They will all grow earnings. It's highly possible. Once the subsidies grow, eventually the output will grow, right? They will grow their earnings.
By avoiding this space, don't you think you're losing out? I mean, this is the space that's growing the fastest.
So the issue is no, that's not the point. I mean, when you have a delta turn on the numbers, I mean, the best turn you'll have is on the commercial vehicle cycle.
Okay.
It has degrown at 30% compounded last 2 years.
Okay.
That's never happened in history. So when the thing turns around, you'll be shocked at the amount of growth that commercial vehicles will give.
So Ashok Leyland?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
But you pick up one, so we prefer Tata Motors.
Okay. How are you placed on the auto ancillaries? Because those guys did better even before the vehicles because of the export.
They are very expensive. Very expensive. So they will. I'm not saying the stocks will fall, but I think the returns will be tepid from here because the run has already happened. The big run has happened. There has to be a serious consolidation. You have to see which ones deliver, which ones don't, because now everything has gone up without costly diligence. It's just gone up. Everything has gone up. You know, my point here is that in the first round, on reform hope, everything goes up. In the second round, only what delivers earnings goes up. Because in the correction, what doesn't deliver earnings crashes. And then what rebounds is only where you see earnings growth. And that's exactly what is happening.
Okay. Well, there are only a few pockets which we haven't yet asked you, and the one that stares in the face is cement.
Yeah.
That participates as much?
It does. I'm still worried about there being huge overcapacity in that segment. So, you know, and these stocks are not exactly very cheap. I don't think they are cheap. And so they will do well, but they will not be your leading outperformers. You can have one odd cement company here and there which you think is positioned very well, which you might like to look at, where you have raw material linkages and is in a good market. That might still work.
Finally, you will have the courage to buy infra. I mean, GMR, GVK, Lanco, all of those penny stocks, some of them or many of them.
Not as yet. Actually, not as yet. I would still prefer. If you ask me from that space, I would buy IDFC. So like that's one segment that you would look at. You would look at stuff like I'd buy the suppliers. I'd buy KEC in that space. That's what I would buy.
Oh, love.
If I want to buy really, if I want to be really adventurous and where I would think that things, I'd buy real estate.
Okay.
And you can buy the worst of them, no problem, because eventually real estate will turn around big time. And that's the last thing that will turn around, but it will turn around big time.
So what are the stocks to look at there?
Everything. I mean, they're all the same.
Okay, that's a big thumbs up. We should be having HDIL speaking with us in a bit. Thank you very much, Patik.
Thanks a lot for your time.
For speaking with
Thank
us
you.
and giving